So there's something that I never told anyone apart from my family, and that's the level of isolation that I felt in Curacao, and I thought I would never experience that anywhere else apart from the UK. But here we are. This is the part of traveling that no one actually talks about. So for you guys that don't know anything about the Caribbean, so Curaçao is a country colonized by the Dutch. The population in Curaçao is majority black people. You know, you're not going to be seeing white people. I mean, you could, but 99% out of the time, you're mostly going to see either dark-skinned people or people that are mixed race or people like me, you know, that have the same skin texture, color as me. So to begin with, I wanted to go to the country to see what the people were like. You know, are the people friendly? Are they welcoming to tourists? Before I went to Curacao, I had the perception that every single country that I go to was going to be top notch, that I would belong, I would feel like I'm part of a family. But that was the complete opposite. When I was in Curaçao, I felt like I was basically in the same environment that I was in back in the UK, where it was toxic, it was hostile, people were a bit cold. I'm not saying that Curaçao is not a lovely country. It's a lovely country. People there are, you know, they're welcoming, but you still, anywhere you go in the world, you're going to come across, you know, that one person that just destroys your experience in that country. And unfortunately, I was the unlucky guy, you know, I had to experience the bad end of the stick. And of course, not every person in Curacao is like that. You know, you still have people that are very family orientated, are respectful, you know, welcome other people from around the world. You know, I pretty much met I pretty much met a taxi driver that was, you know, how do I say it? He was an Afrobeat person, right? Every time I would go into his taxi, he would play Afrobeats. I felt like we could connect on a personal level. He goes to the gym, I go to the gym. So I made a friend, right? So one of the main experiences that I had that made me question myself, do I really see myself in Curacao in the future? Was when I met this woman, right? So originally what happened was my brother, he went to play in the pool, right? So he wanted to get something to eat and he was dressed up. He was wearing his shorts and he was basically topless. But he had a towel to cover himself, and a woman, basically the same skin color as us, pretty much, she looks African, Caribbean. She was telling us how we can't be in the restaurant because he's not dressed. So we left the restaurant thinking, okay, cool, yeah, we didn't really think anything about it. So meanwhile, we're walking out of the restaurant and we see the same woman going up to a kid and telling them that, oh, it's fine, you can eat at the restaurant. And that kid is pretty much shorts, topless. But guess what? He's white, he's Caucasian. He's probably coming from Europe or South America. I don't know. We were asking ourselves, okay, cool, how come the same rule doesn't apply to the Caucasian kid? We were trying to resolve the issue, hoping that she would understand that, you know, she's the same as us. You know, we're both black, we're both proud to be black. And she pretty much ignored us for the whole time we was there. She did not want to talk to us. She did not want to interact with us. And it made me question, oh wow, are black people around the world actually united? Or are they divided? And I'm not going to say that, oh yeah, all Caribbean countries are like that. No, the Caribbean is a wonderful place. It's got wonderful landscapes. And you know, this hit me hard. It hit me emotionally, mentally as well, because it felt like I was back in the UK. I was in the UK country that you can't really have any say as a black person, or there's no sense, or there's no sense of unity. That's how I felt in Curacao. And I've even heard from other people that, yeah, Curacao is pretty much full of mean people. And I'm not gonna say it's everywhere in Curacao is like that. That's not true. So you can imagine after 2 days of going there, I wanted to leave straight away. I had no intention to stay there for more than a week, just based off that one experience. And of course, when something like that happens to you, you want to naturally hide it. You don't want to tell anyone because you're afraid of being judged. That's what happened to me. Until I said enough is enough. Let me tell you guys what my experience was in Curacao. And one of the things that I've learned just from going to Curacao, every single country I cannot call home. There's going to be certain things that happen that I've experienced, or maybe for you the same thing, and you decide that, oh, maybe this place is not for me. You're not giving up, you're just being real with yourself and your expectations. You know, when you constantly have these high expectations that this country needs to meet or this country needs to meet, you're always gonna never find your place. So this made me just think about how important research is before I go to a country. You know, if I go to Curacao now, I'm making sure that I'm researching what are my experience if I was to go to that country. And of course, that eliminates the element of surprise. But I know for a fact that I'm doing research for me, not for anyone else. I'm doing it with the mindset of eventually leaving the UK. You know, I'm not doing it just for a holiday. I'm doing it to see if it's somewhere where I would want to live. So yeah, if you want more inspiration, more motivation to find your true home, from me documenting my journey to find my home, as I've currently been to 10 countries right now. So if you're in that position, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you think. Have you experienced anything similar? Please do let me know down in the comments. And yeah, peace.